Hi, you guys. Today is my birthday, and I just wanted to get on here and just let you all know how special this birthday is to me. Um, Now, where do I start? A year ago today, um, I contemplated suicide. I was having like an emotional break. Hey, Miley. Hey. So the reason why this birthday is so special to me is because, as you can see, I chose not to take my life. And I'm trying to think, should I get into details? You know what? I'm going to get into details just because this might help someone who, took it as far as I took it. So this time last year, I was broke. Not saying that I have like financial freedom right now or anything, but I guess I'm doing a little better than last year. But none of this is an excuse for what I did, but let me proceed. So I didn't have I had literally $5 to my name, and so I said, okay, I'm gonna get on DoorDash. I was doing DoorDash at the time, and I said, okay, I'm gonna make some money for the day. I had plans. My best friend had invited me to go to the 85 South show, and I had a dinner. She had already bought the tickets, and I had wanted to go out to eat. So I said, okay, let me get me a Starbucks coffee, and then I'm gonna work and make the money so I can go out tonight. And I went to swipe my card, and it bounced. So the enemy got in my mind. I was like, you're pathetic. Like, what are you celebrating? Like, you're broke. Yeah, so I was like, what are you celebrating? Like, you have no money, you're failing your kids. That was the biggest thing. I felt like I was failing my kids. And yeah, so I was not in my right state of mind at all. And I actually sped up my car twice. And suicide was on my mind at the time, but both times I stopped the car, and it was like a supernatural experience. Like when the car was speeding, like soon as I sped it up, the first time, it's like I heard some music. Y'all know the music that the violinist was playing on the Titanic when the Titanic was going down. It was kind of like that, like some sad violin music. And I don't know how to explain this, but I could feel the angels looking on and like surprised, like hurt that they were hurt and that they were disappointed, but then they were looking on like is she really gonna do this? So I slowed the car down, and of course the whole time my kids was running through my mind, but I was numb. So things that I would normally care about, I was numb. It was a bad combination. So it's like when you're numb, you really don't care as much. But yeah, so I sped it up again. I never forget. And I heard the music again. I felt the presence of the angels just looking on in disappointment. And I thought about my kids, and I stopped the car. And long story short, I decided to go home. So this phone is acting a fool. I think the enemy don't want me to get this message out, but the devil is a lie. I bind the enemy in the mighty name of Jesus. Anyway, so I decided to go home. I was in a bad mood, so I just went home. I didn't have my kids with me. They were Yeah, so where I left off at is I didn't have my kids with me. And yeah, so I just decided to go home and go to sleep. Now, let me state this. I don't think that I will ever get to that point again, just because of the supernatural experience that I experienced on that day. I do recognize it was the dumbest thing I ever did in my life. And I can't even put it into words. Just the way I felt, the experience I had, like just the disappointment that the Lord would have had if I would have made that decision. And just nothing is worse. No bad pain, no horrible pain on this earth is worth you giving up your ticket to heaven and getting a ticket to hell. So if you're thinking about suicide, don't do it. And this my main point of doing this video. But it's also something else I want to. There's I can't talk, y'all. It's also something else I want to add. Why this birthday is so special to me. On that day, I was numb. I just wanted to go to sleep. I didn't care about life. So I went home, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, I was checking messages in my phone. Now, at the time, I was single. I had just broke up with my then boyfriend. I had broke up with him like in February. My birthday is in November, so you do the math. I broke up with him on Valentine's Day because I got prophecy from God that I should leave him alone. So I did that. So yeah, so he was blocked on my phone. I was not communicating with him at the time. And for some reason, he didn't even know it was my birthday. He knew it was around my birthday, but he didn't know it was the actual day of my birthday. But long story short, he showed up at my house at a very low point, like I was having an emotional breakdown. Oh, this camera just let me know that my lashes is so crooked, but it's okay. I'm gonna fix it before we go out tonight. But anyway, so my ex decided to show up at my door that day, and I told him I didn't want to be bothered. I had a long day. I even told him the experience that I went through, just to let him know the seriousness, that I wasn't being funny acting, and that yeah, it's been one of them days. I don't want to be bothered. So he still decided to show. And he was blocked. He called me from like an unknown number, like a text. I don't know. He called me from some other number. And then he was like, he was 8 minutes away or whatever. And I told him not to come, long story short. But anyway, he came, and one big mistake I did was open the door. And I opened the door and I let him in because I didn't care about life. And I had canceled all my plans and everything as well. So I didn't see that coming at all. So I got a good idea who might have sent him, because like you randomly reached out to me on my birthday and you didn't even know that it was my birthday, but the enemy did. But you know what? We ain't gonna get into that. So on that day, some things happened, and no, I was not in a mindset for that. Like that was the last thing on my mind, but because I was numb, I just let whatever happen. You know what happened, and so a complete stranger could have got it that day, because that's just the mindset I was in. I was that numb, and this why my birthday is so special is because on my birthday last year, this cutie was conceived. So I have my blessing right here in my hand, and just the fact that I'm here and I did not decide to go with suicide. It's just this birthday hit different. But yeah, also this is my first. It's bittersweet because it's bittersweet because this is also the first birthday that I don't have my mom, and I'm trying not to cry out. It's rough, and she's been on my mind a lot lately, and it's rough. But I'm gonna try to enjoy it and celebrate and not be crying and sad all day, all night. But yeah, it's rough, but I'll get through it. She's in a better place. But yeah, that's my story, y'all. I really hope this helps someone. I do not like get this vulnerable. And but I'm like, I just feel like it's gonna help somebody. Like if it can help one person not jump off the bridge, one person not to blow their brains out, one person to keep going and not commit suicide, things get better. I thought that I would never smile again. I thought even when my mom died as well, like you think that you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life, but that's not the case. Life is full of different phases. You have ups, you have downs, and it just keeps rotating. And if we make those of us who would make it into heaven, when we get to that finish line, we will never feel sadness, madness again. It will be only happiness. So just keep going, get to that finish line. And yeah, I hope this helps someone. Keep going. You'll make it. Okay.